Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new video for you all today. So this one was highly requested for about 2 weeks, and it took me about 3 days to complete it, so welcome to none other than loot from 1,000 ancient wyverns. As you can see, before I started actually killing them, I did decide to buy pretty much most of the items that were on the drop table that I saw on the guide, as you can see here. And the reason for that is because I had no idea what to expect as it goes for the drops for these things. I've killed normal wyverns before, but I've never killed Fossil Island wyverns on this account. I've just killed them a few times on my Iron Man. So for the beginning of the video, I wanted to show you guys first how I was getting back and forth to the cave. Now there are two main methods. You can use a dig site pendant and teleport to Fossil Island and then run south, but I think that's a longer route than the one I was taking. I was just using a dig site teleport and then running northeast, and then I was taking a ship and I was pretty much arriving in the cave faster than the other method. So that's what I was doing, and as you can see, the ancient wyverns are all the way south, and then you have to go north into the east corner. And once you get into the east corner, as you can see here on screen, there is a spawn of 2 of them, and as long as you don't go too south from that area, then you won't get PJ'd from a different wyvern, and you can just concentrate on the 2 ancient ones. It is pretty AFK. I mean, the only difference between these and normal wyverns, I'd say, is just the location and also the requirement. For these you need 82 Slayer, and as we all know, for the normal ones you need 72 Slayer, so it is a pretty higher requirement. And I would say that something I was noticing right off the bat when I started this grind was there was a lot of elite clue scrolls, and you'll see what I mean by just the first couple hundred kills. Looking at the drop table, elite clue scrolls are considered rare. There's not really a number next to them or anything like that. So, and I think for most of my loot videos I'll always be doing the clue scrolls that come with it, but I don't think I'll ever add in the clue scroll loot to the price check, and as long as we don't do that, then I don't see a problem with ever doing them. So yeah, I do hope you guys enjoy the clues. And as it goes for bringing my cash stack to 50 wilderness multiple times for certain steps, I was just too lazy to bank, and in all honesty, I don't think I've ever seen people in the wilderness when I do clue scroll steps, or maybe I'm just lucky, so don't mind that. Getting back to the ancient wyverns though, and specifically the inventory setup that I was using for the beginning towards the end of the video, I was firstly using 2 prayer potions, but then I realized that I would need a third, so I pretty much edited that out, and I was using 3 prayer potions with 1 stamina sip every single trip. That way I would never run out of energy. As you guys saw in the very first clip, when I got to ancient wyverns I had no energy left, so it is important to use a stamina sip every time you run to the cave, because that way you'll get there much faster and you don't have to worry about getting tagged by a bunch of wyverns before you get to the ancient ones. As it goes for your food choice, I was using anglerfish, but I'm pretty sure sharks are okay. I wouldn't bring monkfish. I'd say anything above sharks is fine. And you guys did mention last video that I have a bad habit of not adding up the supply costs, so what I did for this video was I added up every single potion and every single food that I used. So at the very end, not only will you guys see the price check and all the drops, but you'll also see that minus the cost of supplies, because I do realize that using anglerfish as well as super combats and a couple prayer potions every single inventory does add up quite a bit, especially when you're only getting 10 kills every single inventory. So you'll notice those supplies pretty much diminish over the course of the video, but that's to be expected because, as we all know, you gotta spend money to make money. So as it goes for the ancient wyverns, I didn't really mind doing that. Now the gear choice is up to you. I was using full bandos. The only thing that I need to point out is the shield choice. That's the #1 thing. You just have to use either a dragon fire shield, elemental shield, mine shield, or even an ancient wyvern shield. As long as you have any of those shields on, then you won't be getting hit by 40s or 50s or anything like that. So for the most part in this cave, for the rare occasions that I saw multiple people in here, including myself, most people were just using the same gear that I was doing, and most people do these on task. It's not a common thing to see a normal player here like I was off task. And the reason I'd say that not a lot of people kill them off task is because they're just really high defense, and they actually hit pretty high too. So their defense is 150, and upon release it was actually 220, but I guess a lot of people complained, so they lowered that. And as it goes for the drop table in general, it was buffed twice, one time for pretty much all the items and all the amounts, and another time just for the seaweed spores, which is a pretty much a drop that adds up over time and it's stackable. They used to drop 12 of them and now they drop 24, essentially just making this a little bit more popular and much more profitable per hour, so I guess more people kill them. Now as it goes for the rare drop tables, other than all these elite clue scrolls that you're seeing, and we actually managed to get a master clue from one of those, which took like an hour to do, but definitely worth it. There are 2 other items on a rare drop table. They're both 1 in 600 apiece. There's firstly the granite longsword, which is 365k, and then secondly there's the granite boots, which is 342k. So we also managed at 47 million attack XP, and right after that we did manage to get one of those first drops, which was the longsword. It says the actual value is 283k, but the guide says that it's a little bit more than that, so I'm not too sure. I actually just kept kept it, and yeah, it actually seemed to be hitting pretty good on these Wyverns as well. Also, something worth mentioning, I was receiving small, medium, large, and rare fossil drops, and those can be converted into, I think it's called Numulite or something like that. So essentially every single fossil drop, such as that one right there, can be converted into GP. You'll see that towards the end, but while I was doing these kills, I actually was not too sure what to do with those fossils. So I figured I would add in a moment of stupidity on my part. Not only did it take me like 30 seconds to catch this ninja impling, but also I somehow brought a Bastion potion, which is good for range and defense, rather than a super combat potion. I guess I didn't realize it until I got to Wyverns, so yeah, nobody's perfect, but man, I mean, you'd think after 400 kills I'd get this down. And speaking of the 400 kills, as you can see, we were just keeping track of all the loot in one tab, and I did try to buy a lot of the placeholder items for the beginning of the video, as you saw, but there was a lot more items that I guess I forgot about, and as I was killing all these Wyverns, I was slowly organizing the tab to make it look nice so that you guys can see all the items stack up and grow over time. And as you can see here, we did manage to get a pair of granite boots around kill 515, so just about halfway into the video, and we did get the granite longsword and the boots. So the only thing left was the visage, which is 1 in 10,000, unfortunately not 1 in 600. And as always, I have to show my Iron Man at least once per video. I was just doing high alching and agility at the Relica course pretty much every minute that I was at Wyverns. So I think I went from like 87 to 89 agility, so I did get a lot done on that account. And I bring that up because another benefit about these ancient Wyverns is, just like normal Wyverns, they are really AFK. And I know in 2018 a lot of people value things that are AFK, especially when they're good money making methods per hour. So if you're on multiple accounts, then maybe ancient Wyverns, if you're not satisfied with normal Wyverns, could be a nice replacement or an alternative for making money on the side. So something to keep in mind. As it goes for the rares or the uncommon drops that kind of just stood out to me, I did receive 150 steel arrows, also 1 dragon med helm, and 1 rune bar. So not too sure what rare drop table that's all on, but I did receive that. Another benefit to these Wyverns is they drop magic seeds, which are pretty high tier in farming and also a really good price, and they're always stable around a good price, so that's something to keep in mind as well. And there's our second pair of granite boots, which actually wrapped up our granite drops for this video. We did end with a granite longsword, just one of them, and 2 pairs of granite boots. Also, shout out to Mogtime. I have no idea what he was doing in full myth G there. And yeah, we did receive a few rare fossils and decent amount of all the other size fossils, but the rare ones were pretty much the most rare, as you can probably imagine. Gotta love my common sense sometimes. Anyways, we are getting close to the price check here, and I do want to say this was a lot of fun. I was averaging about 45 kills an hour, and with that being said, this did take me about 3 days. I'm really busy IRL these days, so I don't know life as much as people think, so this did take about 3 days of playing pretty casually, about 8 hours a day, and again, I was doing all the clue scrolls, so that's why it did take me around, I'd say, 23 hours to complete this video, and it was enjoyable. It was very fun, very AFK, which again, I do prefer quite a bit. And just a reminder, this video was all based on a comment on a YouTube video, so that's pretty much how I make these videos now. Whenever you guys have a really good suggestion that has a lot of thumbs up or that I just seem to like personally, I do go with it. So yeah, thank you to the guy who suggested this, and maybe in the future I'll add in a screenshot of the person who commented the video idea so that you guys get some credit. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the price check. So first things first, I did trade in all of my fossils for some Numulite, which again, I hope I'm pronouncing correctly, and I did end up with about 13,200, which equaled about 435k. So that's pretty good considering I was just picking up the fossils as I was killing the 1,000 ancient Wyverns. Didn't really take up too much inventory space, and an extra 430k is certainly worth it in my opinion. So getting to the first price check, as you can see, there's tons of items, and the first price check comes out to be 14.2 mil. Let's go ahead and bring out the calculator and put that on there, and of course we have one more price check to go. Unfortunately, no visage, which was 1 in 10,000, but that would have been absolutely incredible had it happened. And with one price check left to go, we are about to find out how much 1,000 ancient Wyverns is. So here we go, 14.2 mil plus 8.4 mil, bringing in just a total of about 22 0.6 mil. Now at this point I did forget to add in the magic seeds because they were mixed in with the clue scroll loot, so you're going to want to add in about another 500k to the total price check, meaning that we made about 23 mil total from 1,000 ancient wyverns. As promised, the total cost of supplies equals about 5.4 mil, so in all those anglerfish and all those potions we did spend about 5.4 mil killing all these 1,000 wyverns, so minus 5.4 mil from 23 mil, and that will be all of your profit. Thank you guys very much for watching, and if you enjoy the video, please subscribe, it helps a lot.